Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren. In today's video I'll be doing some commentaries of mine and Pilgrim's Combat Rogue Fury Warrior games that we did on some skirmishes. You guys have asked for the commentaries and you know, to give you some insight on what we did, why we did certain things, to explain you exactly the strat. So this is the video for it. So in the first comp, for the most part for me it's all about comps. What are we facing? We're facing a Feral Druid Red Pally, so they're gonna have strong bursts, especially with the Feral. I'll blind the Feral early when he opens and hope to see if we can trinket, but he doesn't trinket. Ilpigrim accidentally hamstrings him and he gets a bleed on him. In order to keep the Feral from doing early offensive pressure, I cheap shot him, he runs away, we swap all our momentum onto the red. Now the Feral is going to pop Incarnation, but he doesn't have a trinket. Because the Feral has stun DRs, we can score a kill on him, so we're just going to swap pressure onto the Paladin and train him until we can shatter his bubble. He bops himself, I cheap shot the Feral to keep the pressure off of Ilpigrim as best as I can. Pilgrim breaks the shatter during that stun. I try to spam my killing spree, but I get cyclone for it. Pilgrim is going to have to play defensive here until I get my abilities up. Cheap shot the Feral in order to split pressure from Pilgrim, killing spree into the red Paladin, and that's really the game. The only thing we could do right here is train the Paladin down, and I was able to cheap shot the Feral, so Pilgrim gets a free shatter on him. That was the only thing that literally won us the duel, as well as Pilgrim's ability to play defensive as a warrior. That's all you can do, guys. If you can't work with one strat, you have to swap to another. Make sure you're flexible and make sure to coordinate attacks with your partner. Next game is Red Windwalker. We're going to hit Windwalker until Karma, and after Karma we're going to swap all offensive pressure onto the Paladin, and I'm going to blind the Windwalker shortly if he does try to get a heal or tries to go offensive. He starts healing himself, so I score a gouge and then a blind in between of it, just to make sure the Windwalker doesn't get any much healing or doesn't really get any offensive pressure. He trinkets that I kick his heal and go killing spree on him, since we no longer have to hold anything back, and Windwalker is just way too low in order to recover. He OLS is his Paladin, no chance to bob. Eviscerate goes out, and all that's left is a Paladin. All you can do here is, once the enemy set up an offensive pressure, don't play into it. Swap over and pressure the enemy another way you can. If you do have momentum rolling and you can't kill the guy you want to kill, swap it to someone else. At least don't allow your cooldowns and offensive abilities to go to waste. The next game here is a game of patience. It's a Windwalker balance druid, and the balance does not come out until I come out. So me and Pilgrim are just going to wait it out, and Pilgrim is going to get into engagements with the Windwalker, try to see how low he can get him. Pilgrim knows that he is not going to die to this Windwalker even if he got burst up, but Pilgrim does get the Windwalker pretty low. And at this point, once he's kind of low and we got some damage going, we decide, okay, we're just going to go ham onto the monk, and the Druid comes out shortly, and the Druid got a lot of firepower happening, but if we can kill this Windwalker really quickly within the short stun, way too quick. If you look at the Druid, he had Nature's Vigil up. Now Nature's Vigil will heal for whatever damage you throw out, and if you watch the end of this footage, he deals more than decent amount of damage to Ilpigrim. He actually almost kills him. Now if this Druid only came out earlier and started dealing damage into Pilgrim, I think we would have been in a bad situation. Again, this one is all about taking the opportunity and committing as soon as it happens, doing what you can, and just it's all about the burst, committed, and communicating with your partner. Last game is an interesting one. It's one of those annoying DPS healer comps that we're facing. It's an Assassination Rogue Paladin, and what we're going to do is try to open it up on a Rogue, see where that goes, see if we can, put some offensive pressure into him, and maybe we can get some coolies out. I get stunned back to back by the Rogue. He pops Combat Readiness, so we're not really going to sit on him. I get Vendetta thrown on me, so I'm going to pop my Combat Readiness, and I tell Pilgrim early to grab me Gift of the Nara. Let's get that healing going right now. I get blinded and it breaks through due to dots, so since the Rogue does have Combat Readiness on him, we're not going to hit him, we're going to hit his Paladin. I blind the Rogue, he just has to sit it, and while the Rogue is blinded, I sap him and go back to the Paladin to keep the offensive pressure rolling. Rogue wants to get back at us. He trinketed the sap, he re-stealths and is coming at us. I'm going to LOS him as best I can. I pop evasion in order to dodge any stuns or any damage from the Rogue, in order to make sure I can keep my offensive pressure going on the Paladin. Pilgrim is helping me deal damage into the Pally, and we just sink in as much damage as we can until bubble, and then we're going for a shatter. The Rogue stuns me and still wants me dead, which is okay because that gave Pilgrim enough time to score the shatter. I score deep insight because I just kept spamming Sinner Strike when I can. Right here I'm kind of low on damage, so I kill and speed, and Pilgrim afterwards feared the Rogue away from me. This way this allowed us some breathing room in order to score a kill onto the Paladin, but now I'm at very low health. This is another thing that I'm actually going to continue this video going. I'm not going to stop it right here. We scored the win on the Paladin, but a rogue with so many restelts can kill Ilpigrim, so he's going to try to kill me. This rogue is rolling Shuriken Toss, and as you saw at some point, my health got really low, and this guy really wants me dead. Look, just watch him chase me. All you can do is get your heals up, score a re-stealth, and just wait. Patience is a virtue. They always told you that probably at school or when you were growing up, but patience is a virtue. When playing your rogue, it's at utmost importance. Sometimes you gotta play like a bitch, and that's honestly the truth of it. So here what I'm gonna do is pop recuperate and just wait, but I'm not going to get, like, you know, wait in a corner in Africa and just hang around there. I'm going to hang by, and if the rogue is going for something like eyes, and, you know, Pilgrim is, you know, AFK or is being CC'd at distance, we can kind of swap in. I can come in with a CC, Pilgrim can come in and charge back at the rogue, and that's all we can do right here. The rogue pops combat readiness, so we are on this. We can't do anything about it. He's going to take 50% less damage. I have my combat readiness up, so I'll pop it early and just anticipating this rogue's damage to come out. But I throw him a blind, his trick is coming back out. We pretty much recovered here, and I was kind of happy that it worked out this way. Sometimes you gotta run, sometimes you gotta pick fights you can win, and don't pick fights you can't win. And make sure to communicate with your teammates, and be sure to rely on them, because they're the only other skill set other than your own abilities that you have in the arena. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this games with Ilpigrim. It's a lot of fun to play with my good old buddy, and Combat Rogue Fury is just something we can do in skirmishes, have a lot of fun with it, and kind of take on the challenge. If you guys see any more arena games on my channel, or if you ever see any, feel free to ask me to do a commentary on them, and I'll explain you in the best detail that I can exactly what happened. I'll slow down certain footages if you need it be. But hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hopefully this explains you some of the tips and tricks that I have as a Combat Rogue in Warlords of Draenor. And I hope you guys are having a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.